हमने आतंकवादियों को मिट्टी में मिलाने के लिए भारत की सेनाओं को पूरी छूट दी। जब सिंदूर बारूद बन जाता है तो नतीजा क्या होता है?
The guns have fallen silent. Bharat Shakti visited the Jammu region, which faced the worst of Pakistani fire during the 4-day-long Operation Sindoor. In Jammu, we went across the region from Arispura in the plains, where the mercury was well over 40 degrees Celsius, to a post in the Punch sector well over 10,000 feet, which delivered us from the sweltering heat. We travelled nearly 750 kilometers by road over different terrain, from the top military headquarters in the region to the smallest of posts. Many of those kilometers spent under Pakistani observation. Driving parallelly to rivers, sometimes crossing them on roads that could be described as world class at one moment and third world the next. This is mostly due to rebuilding of patches in order to provide a uniform ribbon of grey from Jammu to Punch on National Highway 144 Alpha. Along the way, at various locations, we interacted with troops from different parts of India who have come together united by purpose. Through the journey, we went right to the front lines in the Arispura, Punch and Akhnur sectors. Where we interacted with officers and men who responded with might to Pakistan's provocations during Operation Sindoor. India's defenders took pride in showcasing the equipment with which they gave the Pakistanis a thrashing of a lifetime in a short, swift, intense 4-day period. Here is an account of the soldiers who stared down the Pakistanis on the line of control.
On the 10th of morning that the Pakistan broke the ceasefire violation in our area. It used to earlier happen in hilly region, and when they could not gain any dividends there. So with the disarray and with complete discord, they had opened their mortars, they tried to aim towards our forward posts and their mortars towards our civilian areas. But let me tell you, their fire was ineffective, it was uncoordinated, and most of their rounds, they fell blind. Our reply was swift, our reply was as sharp as a blade, and it was as if it was thundering in the sky without the rain on their heads. And we aimed through our battalion support weapons with the help of the artillery and in close coordination with the other services and other arms, particularly AD, the air defense. We aimed towards their posts, and it was hell for them.
So one night, India struck terror targets across Pakistan. The Pakistani response was to target our civilians and our military on the line of control. Then our military hit back, and hit back we did. And this is the proof of what we've managed to do. Sir, could you please tell us?
So here we have the effect of the retribution of Indian Army. We all know on the night of 6th and 7th when Op Sindoor unfolded, Pakistan Army not only targeted the forward positions that are there, it unilaterally abrogated the ceasefire understanding that was there in effect between both the armies. Not only did that, but then it also ended up targeting a lot of our innocent civilians that were there. So it was in that retribution that Indian Army carried out the fire assaults or the punitive actions onto the forward line Pakistani post that is there, and that is what has been depicted here. So all the forward Pakistani posts that you can see, we had the posts which are there in close proximity were taken out by us.
So how far are these posts from where we are standing right now?
See, the closest post that we have in our AOR is at a distance of 100 meters.
Then we saw in person the damage inflicted on the Pakistani positions first hand as described by a Ghatak commando.
पाकिस्तानी सेना में ना तो नैतिकता है ना मानवता है। हमारी बटालियन उसके लिए पहले से तैयार थी। जो ही रात को 7 बजे 1:30 से 2 बजे के बीच में फायर आया, सबसे पहले हमने देखा कि फायर आया कहाँ से। फायर आया, उससे हमने 5 से 10 मिनट बाद में फायर शुरू किया। जो आपने बताया कि यहाँ एक मेरे दाहिने एक पोस्ट है, उसको हमने बुरी तरह नष्ट किया। मैं इधर जो आपके पीछे पोस्ट है उसको भी हमने नष्ट किया। हमने उस पर मिजाइल, ATGM, 81 mm मोटर, RCL, AGL से इतना बेतरतीब फायर किया कि दुश्मन समझ नहीं पाया कि मुझे करना क्या है।
हाँ जी,
ये पहली बात। दूसरी बात, आप पूछ रहे थे इस पोस्ट का क्या है। ये इस जो लोकेशन है, उस लोकेशन का सबसे हाइट में पोस्ट है। इस हाइट में पोस्ट होने से हमें फ़ायदा ये है कि हमें यहाँ से पूरा इलाका दिखाई देता है।
After a long time, the Indian Army deployed tanks and BMPs on the line of control. These machines of war took part in Operation Sindoor, firing at Pakistani targets. We spoke to the commanding officer of a mechanized infantry unit.
After the incident on 22nd May, we were always ready before that also, and of course after that the things started heating up. So we were ready for any response which we have practiced, rehearsed over a number of times, like if I may say 100 of times we have already practiced that. So thereafter when it was to be executed, the only thing which when we got to know which infrastructure, which post, which target have to be calibrated with the amount of firepower. So the amount of firepower, the amount of ammunition, they were identified, homed down, and thereafter when the time came, it was delivered
On target. The enemy was engaged by different weapons using different types of ammunition. The way wars are fought has changed. Armed forces around the world are still trying to adapt to the menace of drones. The Indian Army skillfully demonstrated to the world its effectiveness against this new threat. It was the Akash Tir system that increased the effectiveness of India's air defense systems.
ये एक ऑटोमेटिक कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सिस्टम है जो हमारा ये ऑपरेशन सिंदूर कंडक्ट हुआ उसमें इसने पिवटल रोल किया है, जिसकी मदद से जितने भी एयरबोर्न ऑब्जेक्ट एनिमी के ड्रोन्स, एयरक्राफ्ट्स, हेलीकॉप्टर्स जो भी हमारी टेरिटरी के अंदर आए हैं, हमने उनको सफलतापूर्वक निस्तनाबूद किया है। और इसके बारे में मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि आकाश तीर एक नर्व सेंटर है एडी बैटल का। ये इंटीग्रेटेड है हमारी रडार्स जो कि एयरफोर्स के पास हैं, आर्मी के पास हैं। वो उन सब का डाटा इसके पास कोलैबोरेट होके आता है और ये फिर ये देखती है कि इन सब जो ऑब्जेक्ट एयरबोर्न हो रखे हैं इनमें से होस्टाइल टारगेट्स कौन कौन से हैं। जो भी होस्टाइल टारगेट होगा और उसके जो होस्टाइल टारगेट के नियरेस्ट वेपन सिस्टम होगा उसको अर्ली वार्निंग दी जाएगी कि आप इस होस्टाइल टारगेट को इंगेज कीजिए। हमारे जो जवान वेपन सिस्टम पे बैठे होंगे वो उनको ट्रैक करेंगे और उनको तुरंत डिस्ट्रॉय करेंगे।
The infantry too has a similar system to ensure its dominance over Pakistani counterparts.
You have seen the terrain out there.
Right.
So it's very difficult for any human to have control of such a huge AOR, and then there are so many depressions, there are so many dead grounds. So by exploiting the technology, we have this command bunker in place. So this is, I would say, my workplace as and when there is something like ceasefire violation or any infiltration attempt is done by the militants. So I come here and you can see these are my eyes in terms of cameras. The total, the number I will not be able to tell you,
Of course.
because of the security reason, but we have placed so many good number of cameras that there is no dead ground, there is no post of enemy which is not under my observation. So as and when there is a ceasefire violation, so it helps, this command bunker helps me that where the enemy, where we have to bring down fire onto the enemy, of which post of the enemy, and what is the damage which we are able to cause. The video is just being played right behind you, that on the intervening night of 6th and 7th May, whatever damage we did, and I would say that we fired onto the 13 posts of the enemy, and out of 13 posts, 9 post bunkers were totally damaged and decimated. So that was the effect of this surveillance center. That was the effect of technology which we are able to exploit, and everything was because of this surveillance center, that yes, we were able to monitor whatever activities are happening.
The Indian soldier has mastered his weapon so well that we are literally using machine guns with the accuracy of a sniper rifle, that too at long ranges.
हमारे जो ये वेपन लगा हुआ है यहाँ पर MMG, तो दुश्मन का जो हमारा टारगेट है, दुश्मन का पोस्ट है, वो लगभग 500 मीटर के लगभग है। जब हमने इस वेपन का फायर किया तो बिल्कुल डायरेक्ट हमने दुश्मन के लूप होल के अंदर उसकी कैजुअलिटी की है इस वेपन से।
तो मशीन गन जैसे बोलते हैं एक एरिया वेपन होता है, पर आप बोल रहे हैं ये इतना एक्यूरेट है कि इस साइज के लूप होल के अंदर आपने दुश्मन को मारा है इस इतने से एरिया में।
सर
फॉर अ मशीन गन ये तो काफी इंप्रेसिव चीज है।
सर
Artillery played a very important role during Operation Sindoor, destroying many enemy and terror targets across the line of control.
So we have TI-IOE, that is Thermal Imagery Integrated Observation Equipment, which is a very, very potent equipment which enables us to have extremely clear observation during night time. So I had my one TI-IOE on my OP pit, and I was using the same for correcting fire, basically to see the fall of shot and to correct the fire and to bring it onto the enemy mortar positions. However, the gun areas which we were firing upon, those were already registered targets which our guns were engaging from deep inside.
So when you fired at the enemy guns, you already knew where they were and you fired, they also stopped firing?
Yes, exactly. So the enemy had started, as I mentioned. Once we started firing on their gun areas, it was extremely accurate, and I can say that so confidently because the moment we started firing, their fire had stopped. So that is how I gauge that the fire in the gun areas was extremely accurate, and then after that they could not end up firing.
Pakistan's nuclear bluff, the invincibility of their air defenses, the supposed superiority of their air force, and the myth around the professionalism of their army was demolished by bold Indian actions along and across the line of control. So, what sort of damage did the enemy receive from you guys?
I must put it on record, not a single scratch to our men, not a single scratch to our post. As I previously mentioned, that all their fire was uncoordinated, and also most of their rounds were falling blind.
On the night of 9th and 10th, basically the enemy started shelling. The shelling was extremely inaccurate, and we had a lot of blind rounds falling in the several areas.
The hammering from Indian side caused the morale of the Pakistani soldiers to plummet as per intercepted radio transmissions, while the morale of Indian soldiers remained high throughout, as was evident, and their commitment was unwavering.
I would start by saying that better prevent and prepare rather to repent and repair. Regiment of Artillery or the Indian Army or the White Knight Corps, we were all ready. We were ready not just with the recent incident, we were ready ab initio. The night when Operation Sindoor was launched, and in lines of the Honorable Prime Minister, who said that now Operation Sindoor is our policy against terrorism.
Many soldiers returned midway from their leaves on their own as the proverbial war clouds seem to have gathered.
Well, I should say that the troops coming back without recalling, it is something that has been inbuilt in us as a soldier. We never left our parties behind. We go along with the team.
Technology too has played a major part in this operation. India's technological the wind sails